start learning about rational exponents today. And in the math world, remember that a rational expression of any kind is just another word for a fraction. Okay, so just keep that in mind when we talk about rational exponents, we're talking about fraction exponents. But before we do that, we need to talk about what is a root. When we talk about the root of a number, for example, a square root, okay, if we're talking about a square root, like the square root of 25, we're talking about the number that I square to get 25, which would be 5, all right? And if we're talking about a cube root, all right, we're talking, let's say that I had the cube root, which normally has that little 3 there. If I had the cube root of 27, the number I would cube to get 27 would be 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 makes 27, all right? One of the things that is helpful when you're working with these is what I call a table of perfect squares or cubes, like I'm showing you here on the screen. And I typically give my students one of these. A table of squares and cubes definitely comes in handy when you are working with this, all right? So sometimes you have to find the square root of something that is not a perfect square, though, like the square root of 80, let's say. And we're using the graphing calculator, the TI-84. If I want to find the square root of 80, I place second and then x squared, and then the square root symbol comes up. Type in my 80, hit enter. Easy. What if I needed to do a cube root? Well, that's different. You have to press the math button, and here number 4 is the cube root. So like the cube root of 27, there we go. What if I needed something other than a cube root, like a 4th root? We'll press the math button and press number 5, and you can type in whatever root you want right here. Let's say it's the 4th root, and let's say I was doing the 4th root of 16. The 4th root of 16 is 2. All right, so that's how you do that on the graphing calculator. I'll come back to the graphing calculator in just a second when we talk about fraction exponents. Okay, so now we need to actually talk about this idea of what is a rational exponent. Okay, a rational exponent is a fraction exponent. And let's look at this first example. Let's say that I had 8 to the 2/3 power. Well, what we do is we start here, okay? This is your root, all right? So what I do first is I find the cube root of this 8, all right? We know that the cube root of 8 is 2. But then I keep going around my circle here. I need to raise this 2 to whatever power is right here. So this is 2 squared, which is 4. All right. Let's do another one. Let's say that I had 27 to the 4/3 power. Well, I would first find the cube root of 27, which is 3, and then I need to raise it to the 4th power. 3 to the 4th power, okay, would be 81. All right. What if I just had this? What if I had, oops, sorry about that. What if I had 16 to the 1/2 power? It's the same thing, this is my root. So since it's a 2, it's just a regular old square root of 16, which is 4. But look at this. When this top number is a 1, all I have to do is find the root, because 4 to the 1 power is just 4. All right, so if this top number is a 1, all you have to do is find whatever root they tell you to find. All right, so like if they just told you to find 8 to the 1/3 power, all you have to do is find the cube root of 8. Okay, and the cube root of 8 is 2. All right, so how about on the graphing calculator? How would I do a fraction exponent on the graphing calculator? Well, if I wanted to do 8 to the 2/3 power, let's say, I would press 8 caret, and then I have to press alpha y equals to get this to come up. So I have a fraction up here. Alpha y equals, and then press enter. So then you just put your numbers in, 2 there, 3 there, press enter, and there's 8 to the 2/3 on the TI-84. Okay. Just cleaning up a couple things here real quick to finish. What if you need to take a root of a fraction? This is, which example are we on here? Number 5? Yeah. So let's say that I wanted to find the square root of 9/25. Well, it's easy. I just break this up into the square root of the top over the square root of the bottom. So the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 25 is 5. All right. You may also have some problems where they give you this, where they give you some variables and they say write it in radical form. Radical form is with a radical. So the 5 is not getting the power. 1/2 power, remember, this is my root. All right, so this is a square root of AB. And that's all you can do. You just write it like that. Okay. And just wrapping up here, just a reminder about what is exponential form and what is radical form. If they give you the square root of 18, all right, and say, write in exponential form. Well, that means write it with an exponent. So we're going backwards, okay? Over here on these problems, these on the left are in exponential form. So we're going from a radical form here back to an exponential form. So this would be 18 to the 1/2 power, since this is just a square root, okay? So what if they gave you the cube root of 18 all to the 4th, something like that? Well, that would be 18. My root is 3, and we're raising the whole thing to the power of 4, like that. All right? So that gets us a great start on rational exponents today. And I hope that that helps you as you get ready to work on your homework assignment today. Thanks for joining.